one of the things you inherit. Yep.
It's right there.
I'm going to sit with my other
What's up, Murphy? Oh, I didn't realize.
People having a roll of seats. Make it roll of
He's over there with Johnny. I don't recognize you either.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the meeting tonight, March 7th, 2024. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Patricelli,
Present?
Councilwoman Donovan,
Present.
Councilman Dawes.
Here.
Okay. Can I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'm going to ask the clerk to call read the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the February 15th meeting.
A second.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Dawes,
In favor.
Councilwoman Donovan,
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli.
In favor. All right, we'll go into first. We'll go into reports of officers and committees.
Okay, I know you sent an email this morning asking for a couple of things to be updated. Number one on your list was credit card for bulk and certificate of occupancies. We've completed that process with Edmunds. They downloaded our system today. We uploaded our system and that is ready to go. So all certificate of occupancies, people can go online and pay that as well as order the bulk pickups. So we are good to go with that.
That's great. Good. It's a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Recycling bins needs to be finalized. I know we talked a little bit yesterday about the local law and some of the changes that we're looking to see. And I know there was a couple other items on here as to how things are going regarding the garbage. At this point in time, with that new regulation that we did and looked, that law got put into place, there were 430 violations since the 1st of January. I'm sorry, the 1st of February. So since that time, we've been tracking. Like I said, we pulled out certain ones like housing and those type of things. But 430 violations have been written in the garbage, both first, second, and third, which actually is down from the initial week that we did when we looked at this, when there was 550 violations throughout, which made us go into this program.
Okay.
So 430 violations to date.
Joe, I ran into, and I think I sent you copies of email that I received about with people reviewing this. Some, of course, are, opposed to it or something like that, but the ones I've been getting are both been positive. Ran into somebody at the post office and said that they haven't seen the city so much. So, go ahead.
Well, I know during the first couple of weeks, I've been charting all the calls and emails I got. Had about 160 conversations with residents throughout the city, coming in. We've had a consistent conversation along the way. We haven't waived the fee with any of the violations to this point. So, they are concerned about it. This isn't a money grab. This was a issue that we're trying to address. I think we're addressing it properly. It seems to be working. There were not many significant second-time violations throughout, because like I said, we had just about 160 phone call conversation, emails, and visitors to City Hall. So I think the program will work, and hopefully we continue on, and as I chart this through March and April, we'll see those numbers come down. We want to know status about streetlights, and that streetlight project is over. I know we talked about getting the one under the 16th Street Bridge. Centrica was not successful in working with DOT to get the outlet, so we're going to continue to try to get that outlet put in, or at least a wire run from the bridge down to it so we can get that. So we're not leaving that one behind.
What about the light, the poles that we're missing? One, I think we're missing 2 poles. I think 1 or 2 of them on 16th Street and stuff. I think that was the one issue.
I can look into that again. I don't remember.
Remember on 16th Street going into the post office, we were missing a pole?
The one that's in
one across
Veterans Park.
Veterans,
Yeah.
one on Veterans Park, and I think there was another person. I think we had one out here in the corner, but I think we were going to skip that.
This one is not going to be done.
Right.
Because that's illuminating
Right.
enough for cameras and stuff like that to work. I'll look into Vets Park where that one is. We did locate one pole light, which is at the dead end of dead end of Hillside, which is behind the railroad tracks, where the football field, practice field is. There was a pole over there. It's not on that. It wasn't on National Grid's system. So at this point in time, I held off on converting it because we didn't know whose pole it was. That was the only one we couldn't identify during the first event. So,
You skip the alley cleanup.
yeah, alley cleanup, I know we talked a little bit about that. We had Elbow Alley and Dead End Third. We did a cleaning up in those 2 alleys, which was significant garbage. We keep on monitoring to see what it is, but I know you talked about a plan for the summer.
Yes.
And I know the details still need to be worked out, but we're looking to do an alley cleanup program. I can tell you that we talked with Albany County today, and we'll be continuing that conversation next week when they come. But our paving plan this year, or this 24 season, is going to be 19th Street, it's going to be 16th Street, and then of course you got the north and south parallels that go from there. We've already talked to Albany County for those alleys that are off of 16th and the ones off of 19th. When we do the millings, if we're going to prepare those alleys at least 10 to 15 feet in, and the millings from those streets will go into the alleys to create those aprons, take them off and hot press them as they go down. So hopefully that'll be a good start to cleaning up the alleys, at least in those 2 areas.
The roadways. Most of what we're talking about is the overgrowth and the garden.
Correct, that's what we're talking about, the alley plan, but this will be inclusive of it. Keep Believe Day, we haven't selected that one as of yet. We are talking to the tree committee on Monday during that monthly meeting of theirs. We're going to select a date from that point, and we'll be willing, be able to report to you at the next meeting as to that date. The DRI, the Downtown Revitalization Initiative application, we were successful in converting last year's presentation to a new format, working through the verbiage on some of the positive things that have happened through the city and some of the grant awards that we've had. So we'll be updating that shortly, and we should be prepared. We believe we're going to hear early part of June as to that NOFA, the Notice of Available Funding, come out, and we'll be primed and ready to apply at that time. So it's been converted from our old kind of plain application, and we're going to put it in a nice crisp format going forward. You asked about an operations report for the policy. I think we've kind of said that already. There are 430 notices out for the month of January, or February, I apologize. And that's where that stands. The only thing left is the restaurant pad for the Hudson Shores Park. We didn't have much success in moving this one forward with some of the things that are going on this past month, but we are looking to bring in a vendor this year. I've talked with Kevin Schufelt, who operates the Traveling Pub and Restaurant. He's willing to do, I have to talk to the band committee or the concert committee, but he's willing to do the concerts for us. He's selected 2 dates to put on events in the park. He's looking to talk with whoever your guy is for the car show. So at least in some fashion, we'll see food at the park this summer. And he's willing to actually bring, during the concert committee timeframes, he's bring his traveling restaurant bar, and that liquor license will be transferred to him and not the city. So we are working to try to put some supplement of food within the park for the year. That's it.
Do you want to make the announcement that we received today?
Oh,
now,
sure.
Or do you want to do it quick?
We can do it now. We're notified by Congressman Tonko. For the last 2 years, we've been applying for the renovations to the Congress Street Bridge. And the Congress Street Bridge was a cooperative plan with the city of Troy to convert that to be a pedestrian, bicycle-friendly, and tighten up the radius for the entryways on 19th Street. We were just awarded today $2.1 million to help us assist in that renovation. There is a small shortfall because that's the match from both municipalities, which is approximately $380,000, which will be shared amongst the two municipalities. Overall, like I say, it'll take away the southbound lane and make that a pedestrian-friendly with the boulevard there, and then they'll convert the rest of the 3 remaining lanes currently in order to make that a pedestrian, bicycle-friendly and tighten radii at both 19th Street and Franklin Street, I think it is, in Troy. The other interesting part of the project is the on and off ramps to Troy are going to go away. There's a whole lot of development going on over there. This will all be part of this conversion. And what that'll do, again, it'll make Troy look exactly like Watervliet. And you'll see those slip ramps going away too. But we just got $2.1 million for that work. So that was that part of the announcement. The other part of the announcement was we got an $800,000 grant for the Civic Center to do a lot of capital improvements to the Civic Center as well. So
It's good. Almost $3 million is certainly not to sneeze at. It was certainly appreciate Congressman Tonko's efforts on it. Okay. I think that is it. Do you have anything else? Okay. I think you got it off easy. Okay. All right. We'll go into old business.
Your Honor, there is no old business on this evening's agenda.
All right. We'll move into new business then.
The first order of new business is resolution number 17 for 2024. This is a resolution approving an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Green Island.
I'll make a motion on resolution 17.
And I will second it.
okay, this resolution 17, is with, as you said, the Village of Green Island. It's a shared services agreement. It's an annual agreement that we do for services amongst personnel, but also with any equipment needs from either side of the municipalities that we can swap back and forth. So again, an annual approving intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Green Island.
Great. Good. All right. Any other questions?
No question.
Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes,
Favor.
Councilwoman Diamond,
Favor?
Mayor Patricelli.
In favor.
Resolution number 18 for 2024 is a resolution approving an intermunicipal agreement with the Town of Colony.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we move on resolution number 18 for 2024.
I'll second motion.
Okay. And basically, it's the same between.
Well, this one's a little different. This actually is this municipal agreement. It has been in existence since 1974, but it talks about the flows of both sanitary and surface waters into the city of Watervliet. This is from the Louisi project that you see on Lincoln Avenue. With the major development that's going on there, we thought it would be prudent that we open this back up again and start putting in calculated flows of estimated gallons per day, because then if they exceed that or there's a change in tenant, right now they're doing all
Warehouse.
warehousing and things like that, so it's going to be minimal of flows. that you're going to see from both stormwater and from sanitary. But should that ever change where they get an office complex or they get a high-end user that comes in, like I said, we thought it was prudent that we get something in writing that would be agreed by the town of Colony and the city of Watervliet that we would accept the flows, but there'd be a calculated rate that we would look for in the future.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Anything else? Call roll.
Councilman Dawes?
Favor.
Councilwoman Dunn?
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Your Honor, that concludes the new business for this evening.
Okay. We'll move into appropriations and accounting.
At the last meeting, you had asked for an update on fund balance, and
Might have to talk a little closer. All right.
you had asked for an update on fund balance at the last council meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
As I have expressed to the general manager, we just stopped receiving revenue February 29th, so I'm not entirely ready to roll out final numbers. But I can tell you our fund balances are projected to go up in everything but the equipment reserve, for which we used funds to purchase the pumper for the fire department. They're looking to go up slightly in some and a little more in some others. Is there anything specific you would like to know?
Well, no, I wasn't expecting final numbers, but I was expecting numbers, but we can get them later if you need to. But I was just looking to see whether or not we want to make sure we're on the right track. You know, with we don't want to get ourselves into the position that we had previously, you know, with going down and not knowing, you know, what those numbers were.
Agreed.
So I think those were, that's what the indication was. We wanted to make sure that the state controller wasn't going to look at us at a later time and say, you know, what are you doing here?
No, as in the past few years, we have been no designation with the fiscal stress score.
Right.
I am cautiously optimistic that we will continue to have that same designation of no designation. And we're looking cautiously optimistic.
Which is cautiously better than not. Got it. Okay, no, I'm good with that. Anything else you got on that?
No.
We'll get those numbers. When will we get those final numbers?
So the AED is due April 30th.
April, okay. Okay. All right, that it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, if that's pretty much it, what I have is, I know that we have many of the retirees today. Thank you for coming. I know we have a couple other issues that we have as well. And I know it's probably in relation to the insurance. Is that, I'm assuming that to be the case. So what I wanted to do is we've been talking about it, we've been working on this. Again, I want to make sure that everyone is aware of this, is that this is not a city of Watervliet decision about what Humana had been working with the providers. The Humana has been a program or an insurance policy that we've been offering with the retirees for the last 5 years, I believe. So 5 years that we've had it. This was the same kind of curveball that Highmark gave to us last year when they canceled the retirees, and then we had to scramble for some alternatives. So, and again, you know, I know some of them thought that this is a city, let's say the city decision, and it's not. We were just shocked and taken back by the actions by Humana as well as what we did with Highmark. We don't know what's going on with Humana, why they're having this disagreement with the physicians and the other groups, but that's something that's between them. The problem is that we had the policy, that was the policy that we had, and now they're having the issues with their providers. I don't know the exact number of man hours that the staff here has been working on it, but I gotta assume that's probably in the hundreds, pretty close to that if you're talking about man hours. But I have to say, the efforts that they've been working on to try to get this resolved and try to get the understanding of what's going on between Humana and all the other alternatives has been extensive. I want to thank Amanda, Dave, and Joe for their efforts in working on this, as well as Brian, on it as well. Again, this was thrown at us, so what we've been doing is working out, trying to get possible solutions to this. So we've been looking at the other alternatives, which is CDPHP, which was a possibility of those retirees that wanted the option of going to CDPHP, they could, and we were looking at that as being a possible alternative. The problem is with Humana is that we have retirees that are outside the area that CDPHP was not going to be able to satisfy, so therefore Humana is definitely going to be working for them and not CDPHP. So what we have decided as the best alternative, because one of the things that we have is time working against us. Time has to be something that we do now. If we want to drag this out, we don't want to make a decision, we don't want to leave it as it is, that's not going to be the best solution for everybody, and we don't want to see that. So what we have decided to do is, as far as this is concerned, is offer the CDPHP to the employees, and what we figured it out to be that it would be an extra $30 to $40 a month of some of that number. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes.
It's in an average, but we'll probably get the final numbers later on. Those that choose to go to Humana, or stay with Humana, then there's nothing that they've got to do. Those that choose to want to go to CDPHP will have to work out things with the office, right? They'll be explain that, and then what we'll be doing is looking for a quarterly payment. I believe the first 2 payments will be made to close out the quarter, and then the final quarters after that. What happens next year, what happens down the road, I don't know yet, but I think what we've been doing or want to do is make sure that we stay right now. But right now, as far as I know, it's May 1st?
May 1st is
The cutover. So anybody who, if we don't do anything now, May 1st, there's going to be a lot of people who will not have coverages that they expected or had previously with Humana. They'll have the same. I should say the coverages they'll have, but they won't have the provider that they normally would have had around here. You would go to another provider if you could, or whatever it is. I don't know what every situation is, but most of the thing is the providers. So they cut out certain providers. I don't know all the providers that they've cut out, but some of the bigger ones, that they have. But CDPHP seems to have those and have those covered. So I sympathize with everybody who's got to go through this. I sympathize with the whole problem that we have. Again, we're trying to be, as fair as we possibly can. This is something that we figure that is the fairest way that we have right now to handle it, and that's what we're looking to do. I know not everybody's going to agree to it, but we're going to try to do the best we can to be as fair as we possibly can. All right? All right, I appreciate at least listening to that part. Anybody who wants to, they can make their comments later if they so choose. All right, anything else? Anything you want to say?
No, I said it already yesterday.
Okay, all right, good. All right, what we'll do now is we will continue with the regular meeting and we'll go into the public comment period.
At this time, the mayor and the council have authorized a public comment period. If you wish to address the council, we ask that you please step forward to the podium and state your name and your address for the record. And we have timers here, and you'll have 2 minutes with which to address the council on any items you wish.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Do you want to go? Why don't you come up first?
Thank you, Mayor.
You want to get out?
Thank you, Mayor. Hello.
Right over here.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. Good evening. My name is Jason Scavo. I live at 2519 7th Ave, City of Watervliet. I'm here because I'm one of the 400 people that actually got a notification for a $100 fine. When I did go to City Hall to appeal it, which on the violation there is no formal appeal process.
You talk, speak.
I'm sorry.
Just address it to us.
So when I went there, I had video of it. I have the violation that shows a garbage bag on the side of the curb. that's what the $100 violation was for.
Okay.
I pulled the camera at my house, it showed a guy going through the garbage, grabbing soda bottles, which he does every week, and he's good about putting the bags back in the can. This week, for whatever reason, he left it on. I brought the video, the photo of the guy going through the garbage can, and I was told, like that was said tonight, that 100 and something people have appealed, and not one has been rectified, or there's not one has been, changed. So my thing is I filed for a court date. I got a call from, I believe his name was Joshua, saying that the city attorney talked to the judge that code enforcement handles their own violations. But my feeling is when you go in to appeal something and the judge, jury, and executioner is the same person that handles the fines, I just feel that, the decision was made before I presented my case, that no violation has been, squashed or, taken on a case-by-case scenario. And as I said, if the garbage was thrown about and not bagged, it was in a self-contained bag, I did my due diligence. That's my feelings. I'll pay the $100. It's just more about the principle of the people that aren't fighting it, that, there's no appeal box. If it was a homeowners association, it would be in front of an independent person, an arbiter or hearing officer making the decision. So, thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Had the wrong sign up, buddy.
Go ahead.
I'd like to address the council. My name is Dennis Murray, retired police officer. In regards...
Your address, does?
My address?
Yes, please.
Is 1 Meadowview Drive in Troy.
Okay.
And I would like to address the council in regards to basically your announcement in regards to the Humana situation. And I can't speak for everyone that's a retired member, but I can speak for the police department members of the PD, I believe, who are retired currently under Medicare and with Humana. And at this time, we do not contribute to our health insurance. Are you saying now that we will be contributing if indeed we elect to go with CDPHP?
The way we've had it addressed was that we are providing Humana.
Correct.
If you want something in excess of that, right now, what we're saying is that's an extra cost that we have not had, and that will be an extra charge. You could stay with Humana and not pay a dime.
Right.
That was what we had, that's what we offered, that's what we had.
But unfortunately, that will decrease the use of certain medical facilities within the Albany Medical Center system, and of course, community health care. Okay, so apparently that's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Brian Carroll, 50 Blount Road. I'm with Humana. I heard the explanation of in-network, out-of-network providers or physicians who are in-network. I've done some homework myself. Now, if you're with Humana and you happen to have a physician that's not in their network, if your physician states that he is willing to submit an out-of-network fee to Humana, they will recognize it. With Dennis's issue about having to pay additional monies for, I understand it's not a city issue, a city problem, but I'll tell you, there's no way that a retiree should have to pay after 20, 30 years of service to the city, and through negotiations, and sometimes through contracts, have taken 0% to continue with their benefits. I'm not saying it's your fault, but there should be other options. You stated earlier that you put 100 man-hours in researching this. I spoke with members of the Troy Fire Department. They haven't put a stamp on it yet, but you also put somewhat of a black eye towards Highmark. they are including all the retirees in the Troy system right
Right.
now, with no fees.
There are different numbers of retirees, Brian. Of course, a lot smaller and a lot, right, correct? And again, I'm not,
You know
I'm
the
not an
number of
expert.
members you have to have? I'm not talking the 79 retirees. You have the fire department, you have the police department,
Yeah.
you have the DPW. Can't tell me if you put them all together with the retirees at 79, that you don't meet that number?
I believe that's.
We don't. I get kicked out.
What number do you need? Do you know?
We
No, it
need
was
100 active employees, which we do not have.
Well, I'm saying, why can't the retirees be inclusive?
That's
They
a
don't.
great question.
Yeah, we tried to say that ourselves, to try to get them to be included in. We tried it every different way, we've talked about it many different ways, and they only look at the active employees on our payroll, and unfortunately retirees, you know, thank you for your service, but you're not included.
And Highmark won't even cover between 55 and 65. They won't even cover those retirees.
And I further researched with Humana. If you're with Trinity Health or St. Peter's Partner Physicians, I called all the physicians myself that I use. I don't know whether they use Albany Med or what other physicians, but every physician that I use, they're included in Trinity Health. So I don't have that issue, but I feel for the retirees that are looking at $45 or $48 additional a month, plus Social Security deducting $180 a month for Medicare.
I don't believe it's going to be 48.
I think it's 30.
I'm not quoting it.
Yeah.
It's in that range, you say.
35 right
But
now.
that's if you're on a fixed income, that's not something to just look the other way about. That's what I'm trying to say here.
And the
If you
thing,
put 100 hours of research into this, that doesn't seem like there's much information that you're giving retirees here.
well, I think with the information that we have right now, Brian, what we're saying is, what we've been able to find out other alternatives was that this is the best alternative that we have at this particular point in time. So what we're looking at is the clock is ticking, so that if we don't do something now, we won't even be included. And Humana will be the only choice that everybody has, which won't work all the way through everybody.
Well, that leads to my next question. I hope by year's end you don't drop Humana too, because once the retirees that have not much of a choice but to go to CDPHP, Humana's going to lose these retirees also. So now they may be looking at another issue here.
Well, that was one of the conversations we had with the carriers, was if we had people switching over to CDPHP, would Humana drop us because they lost the original? And we were guaranteed that that wasn't going to happen at least this time.
Is that in writing?
We did not get that in writing, but that's one of the
Brian,
things.
these
I
insurance
mean, we
companies,
had contracts that were all in writing, but now you're telling me that they don't really hold water.
well, you know, the problem is that City of Watervliet is, Humana doesn't look at City of Watervliet and say, oh my God, this is the city of New York, you know, where hundreds of thousands of people are talking about, you know, employees. You know, that's why I've kept on saying to everybody, make complaints to the state. You know, there's a state Department of Insurance, and to let your legislators know about the problem that we're having. We're gonna let them know too, but because everything is being dropped on our laps and being able to say, this is what we have to look at. You know, and again, you know, we're coming up with, you know, trying to figure out the right solution to it, and we don't, you know, and again, every time we turn around, we're getting a different conversation, you know, they change like the weather, and that's what we had no idea that this was
All
coming.
right, so in respect for the rest of the retirees, how solvent is the city of Watervliet? Why can't the city of Watervliet pick up the $40 a month for these 79 retirees until this gets straightened out?
Well, I think right now, until this gets straightened out, what we're gonna look at is working it the other way. If this is something, because we're offering Humana. Humana is what we're offering right now. So that, everybody has that kind of coverage. And this is kind of like a extra, like a supplemental policy or something like that, if they wanna go that way. So right now, that's the way we're planning on moving it. If we change we can change something, we can look at something, we can find anything, we will look at it, discuss it. This is not something we're looking at here.
Okay, hallelujah.
Okay.
Let the rest of the floor speak.
So you disagree or disagree? Are you disagreeing?
That you said that the, I'm sorry, Nancy Vaughn,
Nancy.
2325 10th Avenue, Watervliet. I'm not retired, my sister is, but I'm not. I'm just listening, and what you just said was the CDPHP is going to be a supplement?
No,
Okay.
no. it's
That's what I thought you
No.
said, it was going to be in addition to the Humana that everybody.
Well, it's actually a supplement. In other words, it'll actually give more to what the Humana was going to get.
Right,
It's an
but it's either or,
Alternative.
okay.
Alternative.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because if there was a supplement,
No,
they
it's not
would
a
never
supplement.
pay.
No.
They would, you have to bill Humana first.
Right.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a supplement. Sorry. Not my business.
No, but thanks.
My name's Holly Collette. I reside at 1812 9th Avenue, and my mother's a retiree. First of all, I want to start out by saying I do appreciate what the retirees are saying. Added cost is definitely a burden. But I also want to appreciate all that some of the folks sitting at this table have done for us. And I know I've been in conversation with many of you in the past couple months. It's not an easy solution by any means, and I appreciate that. One of the concerns I have, though, is the crosswalk from the current insurance over to Capital District Physicians Health. If it's May 1st that my mother will have the opportunity to join Capital District, will there be some help with us crosswalking to the May 1st date? Because some of the folks will not have participating providers. So is it Medicare that will pay up front? Is it the insurance company that will pay up front? There's kind of like a double-edged sword, that there's not a lot of clarity for me at least. And if I could get some help with that, or maybe some of the others, if you're switching over to Capital District Physician, you currently have Humana, if you go to a non-participating provider, then how are the charges going to be paid for? And that's something that I would be interested in finding out how we go ahead and do this. And this is not an easy solution, believe me, it's not. And I know there's a lot of people upset. In the last council meeting, I was very upset. But I do appreciate the people sitting at this table. I want you to know that. I do appreciate the hours that you have put into this. And I appreciate that if you don't have inside working knowledge of 79 versus 100 versus 1,000 employees, there is a big difference. There truly is. And so at least I think this is a happy medium in many ways, but I also respect that the retirees, $30 is $30. And I understand where they're coming from. But on behalf of my mother, I'm grateful that May 1st we will have doctors. And I'm also grateful that tomorrow when I get up, I don't have to take the provider book that Humana has supplied to me and go down and cross off all the names and find that Cooperstown is about the only place we can get a provider. So I am grateful for that, and I want you to know that. And if we can just get a little bit of information about how to crosswalk. And I'm willing to reach out to our own providers and let them know, effective May 1st, that there will be coverage, and see if they would be willing to work with us as well. But I do appreciate you, and I want you to know that.
Thanks, Howard.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Motion. Where's the mic? Frank McGrady, City Watervliet, 436 8th Avenue, Watervliet. So, Chuck, you're going to send paperwork out to every household retired for either Humana, to let them make a decision.
Correct.
And if they
That's
choose, right? And that'll be going out when?
Hopefully
Because
the
everything is
Hopefully the early part of next week.
early.
We need to get the application and everything, we should have it by early part of next week.
When I ran for council, my opponent mentioned that he wanted to make the city great again. So my thought was, these people made the city great. The volunteers, Barb, Chris, Were they there on the Democratic parties, raising money, there enjoying themselves? The race, were they there volunteering? A lot of them weren't. How long did the race go on? 18 years. They volunteered a lot. It was the council that probably came up with ideas, but these people helped make those ideas a reality. So, I think, I think you guys should think twice about charging these people. These people made our city great. Along with you, Barb, along with your whole family, along with Chris. We gave hours to make this city great. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Frank. Anyone else? Come on.
Come on, Ken. About something different. Got a handout.
What did you?
Natalie Simmons, 25 Mickle Hill Road, Troy, New York. M as in Mary. So I'm here to speak about 7-Star Garage that is next door to my friend Sherry's house, and weekly I stop by her house. And these are some things that I've seen that are not supposed to be happening, I guess, according to previous meetings here. So there's signs of auto body or car sales going on. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. I'm handing out the packet because when I was dropping her off, I saw the owner go into a little yellow car, open the glove compartment, pull out dealer plates, and put it on the back of the car and drive off. Now, to get dealer plates, right, we all know that if they have to sell 5 or more cars a year to have those, legally have dealer plates. So if they legally have dealer plates, you're selling cars somewhere, right? Okay, and they're not supposed to be. They came up here and said that they weren't doing that, right? Thank you.
For my notes, what was that?
My name is Akhtar Pervez, 2302 10th Avenue, 103. I want to talk about this garage. There's still
Just make sure you speak up a little louder.
the garage is still opening till 8 p.m. and still people seeing cars, selling cars, and body work. I don't understand when we have a proof with a video and pictures and court enforcement, why they're not enforcing their policy opening after 5 o'clock. And people still have a hard time to park their cars around them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What's that?
I said I no longer want the board members to present.
Just speak up loud, I don't, we gotta get a mic on it.
My name is Sherry Marion. My address is 1013 23rd Street.
10:13.
Yeah,
Sherry, can you spell your last name?
M-A-R-I-O-N.
Thank you.
So this week's handout contains fumes and pollutant information, auction and auto body part information, and a few more photos. During the last meeting on February 15th, I made a necessary statement regarding 7-Star Auto, and I disclosed an overview of my health and explained the risk and harm of toxic fuel exposure. On February 16th, I worked from home as I awaited a contractor for a furnace quote. When the contractor arrived, I opened my door to him and fumes again. The contractor confirmed that what I could smell was toxic fumes and he could smell them as soon as he opened his vehicle door. Without asking him, he then explained the auto body process. I was shocked to learn that he is experienced in the auto body trade as well as heating and cooling. A written statement from this contractor can be provided upon request. As he left, I called 911 again. When the fire department ambulance arrived, the fire department checked my home for internal leaks and none was found. They witnessed the smell and the fumes. Shortly after, the police arrived, as well with Joe, the city manager, who happened to be in the area. They also looked around and checked my basement. Joe advised he was going to take a look around the garage lot and that he would then knock on the garage door. Joe told me to follow up with the city the following week. Since the evening of February 16th, I have had difficulty breathing, and it could or could not be related to this. I saw my asthma doctor that referred me for chest x-rays. I am getting a second opinion on my x-rays because the information was conflicting from what the allergist and what the x-rays were saying. My online chart for the x-ray was saying that I had signs of scarred lungs and signs of emphysema, both of which I never had, and I was checked for prior to getting a pacemaker. My primary prescribed an inhaler with steroids for inflamed lungs and pulmonary distress. Until my pulmonary appointment, I am to monitor my lungs daily. An additional appointment was made with my electrophysiologist, as it is also necessary with this type of exposure. The following week, I left a message for Joe on 2:20 in the AM and again on 2:22 in the afternoon in order to establish a meeting as advised and to obtain information on the outcome of 2:16. The second message included information requested. The intake and outtake pipes that the garage installed are on property line and do need to be removed. I also explained that unless a fence is installed at the bay door to leave a 5-foot abreast, and that the fence is white vinyl fencing to match existing structures in the residential area, according to the Watervliet code, a fence should not be installed. I have not heard back, and this seems to be a trend. For many of us, this entire ordeal is beyond stressful and frustrating. Residents have been complaining about the same issues for a long time now. We listened to Usman stand up and tell us that he wasn't selling vehicles or doing auto body, and that he respected his neighbors. All to be and continue to be proven as untrue. The garage continues to violate codes by performing auto body work, selling vehicles, staying open after hours, and exceeding lot limit. The lot limit has improved this past week for a few days, so I don't know if somebody was there. But now the cars are starting to be parked on 23rd Street, 10th Street, over in Bob's Diner lot, and wherever else they park cars. A lot of this has been videoed. He's been open after hours, sometimes until almost 8 o'clock at night, and on Sundays. Some of those packets do show the time when the photo was taken. The lot has tripled in cars as well as traffic compared to the prior. He parks vehicles without plates on the street, and he drives these vehicles down 23rd Glen and 10th Streets. He has proven to be deceitful, insubordinate, and non-compliant. Without a continuous monitoring, he will continue to do as he pleases. His actions have and will continue to put mine and my neighbor's health at risk, which includes a residential daycare. Are any of you willing to be accountable for this? I know that I don't want to be accountable for it or even have to experience this again. I requested a FOIL report on February 7th and a follow-up email was sent to Dave on February 6th. It is now a month and I have not heard back. Why am I not hearing anything? I can free my schedule as needed, and I would like to establish a meeting to go over more zoning issues. If anybody would like to take the lead to establish a meeting and follow up with me, I can make time on my schedule.
Okay. We will.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead, take a shot. Just keep it short, that's all.
Timothy Cavanaugh, 908 25th Street, just a quick question. I had mentioned to the general manager a couple months ago, the flower pots that are city-owned at 25th Street and 7th Avenue, been there for years, actually as one of the ones that put them there for the truck traffic for Teresa Bunk. Teresa's passed, new homeowners are in there, done a great job at the house, they put concrete sidewalks in out in front, looks great. The flower pots have disappeared. Joe said that supposedly the contractor broke them while moving them. I'm not buying it. They've been hit many times by trucks, just like the ones on 19th Street. If the new homeowner does not want them there, maybe the city can arrange to get them back from wherever they disappeared to and put them somewhere else. Right, Joe? What did he tell you?
What's that?
What did he, you're not paying attention?
I am paying attention, Tim. That's why I was taking notes.
All right.
Because you and I have had this
I know,
conversation.
we had two conversations.
We had this conversation,
And supposedly,
exactly.
one got broke.
Correct. And you just admitted yourself that they were hit by trucks, and I told you when the guy went to pick them up, they shattered, and you didn't believe it, so what do I have to do from there?
I would personally get the police involved.
Okay.
They disappeared. Their taxpayer flower pots cost a lot of money. They just disappeared, and we're gonna leave it at that. So he says they shattered. How many times we moved them pots, David, over the years? With the loader knocked over. Price one from 19th Street was dragged from 19th to 10th, all the way down in front of my house by a tractor trailer.
When I even came on my house.
It didn't break at all. So, you know, my personal feeling is they disappeared. All right? And I don't care if it's a cop that owns the house or not. Thank you. It should be looked into.
Hi, Don Panici. I live at 5 Schuyler Court, Lionsville. I think I want to ask Dave just one question, if I may. Do I address you, Charlie?
No, go ahead.
Well, really what I'm wondering is, I know that there's an open enrollment for health insurance. So if you do not decide to switch from Humana to CPHP, I think it's October, starts till beginning of December. If my information was correct from my brother, will we be able to switch then?
Oh, you mean if you don't choose it now?
Right.
And you wait till
Yes, that's what I meant.
at the end of
I'm
the year?
Right.
Okay, can you switch then?
We don't know what the
Yeah, we
health
don't.
insurance options are going to be for 2025 yet,
Right.
so it's possible.
But there is an open enrollment program, right, in New York State. Am I correct in understanding that?
That is correct, but there may only be one plan offered. We're not sure. We don't know what's going to be available for 2025 yet.
All right, well then.
I mean, Don, I wish we knew.
Right, I understand.
I wish I could tell you things that, you know, that would make sense.
Right.
But to sit here right now and make a statement and then say, you said, these guys here don't go by anything.
I just was told that during an open enrollment, it shouldn't matter. You know, if you if you want.
Normally, that's what she's saying is basically, if like a lot of companies will say, we offer 3 plans.
Right.
During open enrollment, you can pick any one of those 3 plans. Right. We're not sure that this might just be the only plan that we have to offer.
All right. Just as well. And Dave, will there be a comparison so that you can put them side by side?
A plan comparison?
Yes. Beautiful, thank you.
Okay.
I can certainly.
You don't have to.
No, I'll be happy to. Just a little one though. Nancy Vaughn, 2325 10th Avenue. The garage, it is a big headache in the city.
Yep.
They are selling cars. There's nothing, they are absolutely selling cars. I've witnessed it. Now, for some reason, there's a car, there was a fire in the house across the street from us, and there's a car parked in the driveway. Those people have been going forever. I actually have to text the guy to find out there's some strange car parked in there now. They're better on 10th Avenue on our end of the block with the cars parking. They're not as bad.
Right.
But, they're open Sunday. I mean, I kind of feel like since code isn't doing anything, they must have had permission from someone to run those businesses without with no oversight. But there's nothing there's nothing on the website that says that during the code or planning policy, none of those meetings show anything. But if nothing is being done by code for any of the stuff, I mean, they are definitely working that way. There's dealer plates on cars parked on the street sometimes. Nothing's being done. So my only assumption is that it was okayed by the city. I guess I would like to see the meeting that was okayed by. I would like to see the minutes of the meeting that was okay. That's all.
Okay.
Because it is
That
definitely.
happened a while ago.
Did
they ever
go
go to zoning, Joe?
They didn't get their license from the state until January of 2022. Even though, right, 22, I think they bought it in October.
Okay.
They got their license to be a garage from the state in January.
Because if they went to zoning, it was a while ago. It was a long time ago.
But the garage has always been just a repair shop.
Right.
With only a couple bays.
Right.
It was only 3 bays when Gerard was there. So if there was any change in the number of bays that they could use, then that had to go to planning and zoning. And I don't know, I haven't seen anything, that's all. And the residents would have to be told, they changed, so if you look at their old place in Albany, there's a sign that says on their thing, we've moved to 23rd Street in Watervliet. But the address is 10th Avenue. So the car dealer is now moved to 23rd Street according to the sign that's on their gate and their old. So I don't even know, which address is true? Is the 10th Avenue address true or the 23rd? Do they have 2 businesses?
I don't know.
Nothing's happening, so it's just kind of frustrating, that's all.
We'll get to it.
Just a quick, what's the difference between Humana and the next insurance company? How much total?
$34.27 a month per person.
No, total cost.
About $25,000 for this year.
Okay. Well, we hope we address at least most of your concerns. Again, maybe not all the answers that you'd like, not all the things that we have. You can see this is not something that we, sit here and say, just pass it by. There's been a lot of work being done on it. We've talked about it. How many times? More than several? Okay, more than several times. So, with that, unless there's anything else, I'll close the public comment period. All right, public comment period will be closed. Is there anything further to become in front of the council? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. The next meeting will be March 21st.
And I will second that motion.
All right, clerk call the roll.
Councilman Bills? Councilwoman Dunn?
In favor.
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor. Thank you, everyone.